Hi, it's Melissa. Welcome back. Today I have another layout for Let's Get Sketchy. Monday was the 5th Monday of the month, and whenever that happens, we have a special challenge. And so this week, we have a sketch and also a mood board. And so when I saw the colours in the mood board, I immediately thought of the Maggie Holmes flea market collection, and I've had this collection for a long time. I had the 12 by 12 paper pad, which is all single-sided, and basically the collection, or the papers and stickers, have just sat in my stash unused. So this was a perfect example to get them out and go through them. And I love the floral, but as a whole sheet it's a bit too full on for me, but it was perfect to use as border strips. So I was wanting to work with the sketch, and the sketch showed 2 border strips. Rather than cut my pieces with the trimmer, I decided to tear the edges, and I didn't really think too much about it. I just tore them, and wherever they ended up is what I went with. And I love having the white, core of the paper showing, and that's the way you rip it. And you would have seen in my video. In this video, I started to rip it one way, and when I realised it wasn't going to rip the way I wanted, I changed it. So I'm also using a piece of this really beautiful navy and white polka dot. It's just stunning, and I did get my trimmer out because I wanted to ensure that I had the diagonal piece like the sketch shows, and I did a bit of fussing and a bit of trimming, and it took a bit of an effort, but eventually I got it stuck down, and that's what you can see me doing there is the final step of that. So I've cut some of that out because it really is just fussing around to make sure it's right, and I'm just trimming off the excess. And then I'll be trimming a small piece for the bottom. Now I find with these paper pads, when you tear the paper out, you end up with a tiny perforation along the top edge, and I usually just trim that off. So my background paper is a ledger, and it's also from Flea Market, sorry. So I'm loving how that looks. I'm just wanting a peek, a tiny hint of that paper. Now I did think about stitching, machine stitching between the 2 layers, but in the end, because it was quite random and torn, I thought it would be a bit difficult to, I thought it would take away from the edge, if that makes any sense at all. So I also wanted to use some of the papers that I've already cut into, because it's good to get them used up, and I think most of these 12 by 12 paper pads have 2 pieces of every sheet. And so this pink is quite bold, and I know it's not the same shade as the kind of magenta pink in the mood board, but to me it's still pink and it's going to work. And so now I'm just cutting the strips that go across behind the photo on the horizontal, and so I'm having a light pink, a darker pink, and this kind of minty teal colour. And pretty soon I'll jump ahead to having them the right size and positioned, and all I do is once I get the position right, I just use some adhesive to, as you can see, make it into one piece, and I'm happy with that. So I've gone with pretty much what the sketch showed for those papers, and I'm just gluing them down. So I had splattered with some Heidi Swap, it's hot pink, I think it's hot pink, yeah, hot pink, and that was from my February clip kit, and it's a little bottle, and I think I may have used some gold as well. No, I haven't. Sorry. I think I'll be coming back in later with navy. Anyway, I digress. So I'm putting some white vellum behind my photo just because I think it needs something aside from the white border. It needs something to just break up all those patterns. And I've put my adhesive in the middle so that I can tuck bits and pieces behind. And so these are the thickers that go with the collection. They're a navy glitter, and they're beautiful. They're foam, I should say. Foam are my favourite. I was watching someone the other day, it was Inky Quill, and she said that foam thickers are her favourite, and I absolutely agree. And this is going to sound really crazy, but foam thickers also smell really nice. Well, I think so anyway. And the best thing about foam thickers, now I'm sounding like a solvent addict, I'm not, I promise. The best thing about foam thickers is that you don't need to add any adhesive. So A little bit of glitter comes off these ones, but they're pretty good. And now I've got this beautiful floral, and I'm just going to fussy cut out one of the flowers, and I've chosen one off the edge, and I'm just cutting around quickly. I don't show you all of this because I'm not that great at keeping everything on in the camera shot, sorry. So I'm just working out where to put it, and in the end I go with the sketch which had embellishment on the bottom right, but rather than go over the photo with this one, I'm going under. And if you look at the sketch, you'll see what I mean. So I've used some double-sided tape, and then I'll just pop the edges up with some dimensional adhesive. And that's a pretty standard embellishing technique for me, just to add extra dimension. And I realised I haven't talked about the photo. So this photo is my pregnancy album. It's been sitting on my desk for a long time, and I was really struggling to scrapbook it because it has so much green in it. And what it is when we went down to Invercargill to have Brielle, we stayed in Invercargill for a few days before, and I'm sure most of you probably have this in your town, and we have it now as well, but the supermarket had special car parks right near the door for expectant mothers and new parents. And so, of course, we had to take advantage of that because I was heavily pregnant by that stage. And, of course, I had to take a photo because I knew that I'd be making this album. So I have struggled because it's green. I haven't been able to find a collection that was going to work with it. But I think this one works really well because of the green that I've got in the papers as well, especially with the floral. And also with the embellishments that I'm adding with the stickers. So it's great to finally get this one scrapped. I think I may nearly be there with the pregnancy album, and when I'm done I'll share it with you, hoping to get it done before Brielle is 2, which is in April. So here I'm using these asterisks as extra embellishment, and I love doing that because otherwise I don't know when I'd use asterisks. And these are from, I think, from the original Maggie Holmes collection, and I've been hoarding them. And you'll see that I have 2 on there now, and in the final shot you'll see that I get the 3rd one on the page as well. So because I don't have many embellishments from the collection, I'm having to use papers to make my own embellishments, and that's a technique that I love. You don't always have to buy absolutely everything. I love that crepe paper always includes, and especially Maggie Holmes, always includes great sheets of ephemera that you can cut up. And so I'm just adding dimension and I guess an aged, distressed look with my scissors, and just tucking these bits and pieces underneath the layers, or poking out. So there's a good shot at an awesome cut apart sheet. And I've got a little ticket. It says admit 1. And I'm just going to tuck it with some dimension again, just under my layers. And I'm loving how this is turning out. So now, this is an amazing piece of paper. And I know everybody's into tiny word stickers, but this is a whole sheet of cut apart words, and I'm actually keen to make a layout with one of those sheets as just a full background, and I think it would look really great with some mixed media and lots of colour on it. But I just cut apart some of the words. I put yes please, love this, and discover, because all of those are applicable. We absolutely were going to take advantage of that car park, and we weren't really taking advantage because we had every right to be in there. So now I'm just adding some more embellishment with these little stickers. Oh, not stickers, sorry. After all I said, little cut apart pieces of paper with word phrases on them. And another awesome sheet which has some tags. And so I just cut half the tag. And then what you didn't see was I used my crocodile to punch the hole. And as always, I have to put some twine in my tag because I can't leave them with nothing. To me, it just looks wrong or empty. And I think this layout's turned out really pretty, considering the photo is not really a pretty photo. It's just, it's a sign. It's what it is. But I love it. And like I say, it has been really difficult to be able to scrap this photo. So then I had a doily just floating around, so I think it was just a half doily. And I'm not 100% happy with this, but it's done now, and I really should have left it, but anyway, I've tucked it underneath my layers, and I guess because it's white, it is quite subtle, and I wasn't worried about the cream white situation because the tag that I have is white. So now I'm adding my journaling, and just literally what I've just said to you now about utilising the car park, and yeah, I always think back. I think it was the day before we had her, so I always think back to that when I see that photo. And adding the date, which was just April 2014. So that's my all my embellishment done, and now I'm just adding a bit more colour shine because I covered most of it up. So some hot pink, and then I'm just dabbing it with a tissue so that I can come back in with some navy colour shine. And that's what I'm doing there, and dabbing that as well. So thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this layout, and yeah, I hope that that you come and play along. It's always fun when we have a fifth Monday, and we love seeing what you create over at Let's Get Sketchy. So I'll have the link to the blog below. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.